I'm sitting in a glass-walled conference room on the third floor of MedStaff Solutions headquarters, and I can feel every eye in the open office pretending not to watch. My mother is across from me, still in her scrubs from the morning shift at St. Anne's, and her face has gone from red to blotchy to something close to gray. Between us, Angela from HR slides a disciplinary report across the table, the paper so white it almost glows under the fluorescent lights. "Ms. Caldwell," Angela says, her voice carefully neutral, "this constitutes a formal written warning for unprofessional conduct and insubordination. A second incident will result in immediate termination. Do you understand?" My mother doesn't look at Angela. She's staring at me like I've just stabbed her. "You're really going to do this?" Her voice cracks, loud enough that I know people outside can hear. "To your own mother." My hands are shaking, so I press them flat against the table. I've been rehearsing this moment for 3 weeks, playing it over and over in my head while I lay awake at 3 in the morning, but nothing prepared me for the look on her face. Nothing prepared me for how much this would hurt. I slide the incident report toward her, the one documenting her screaming at me in the parking lot last week, the one security had to file when she showed up at my workplace and cornered me between cars, shouting about family loyalty while my coworkers watched. "You had a choice too, Mom," I say, and I hate how quiet my voice sounds, how small. "When you took the money from my account." The union rep beside her shifts uncomfortably. Angela maintains her professional mask, but I catch the tiniest flicker of sympathy in her eyes. My mother's mouth opens, closes. "I didn't take anything. I borrowed." Without asking, without telling me, $47,000. The number still doesn't feel real when I say it out loud. That's not borrowing, that's theft. "He's your brother." "Ms. Caldwell," Angela interrupts, firm but not unkind. "This meeting is about your workplace conduct, not the personal matter. But to be clear, you confronted your supervisor's supervisor in a company facility during work hours and created a disturbance that required security intervention. That cannot happen again." I watch my mother's face crumple, watch her look at me like I'm a stranger, and some tiny part of me, the part that's still the little girl who just wanted her mom to be proud of her, wants to take it all back. Wants to say it's fine, we'll figure it out, family helps family, just like she's always said. But I don't, because 3 weeks ago I learned exactly what family helps family actually means in the Caldwell house. And it has never, not once, meant helping me. 3 weeks earlier, I'm at my desk reviewing the third quarter staffing reports for the greater Denver region when my phone buzzes. It's a fraud alert from my bank, the kind I've gotten maybe twice in my life, both false alarms from gas stations with sketchy card readers. $12,000 has been withdrawn from my savings account. I stare at the notification, my brain not quite processing it. There has to be a mistake. I tap through to my banking app, and my stomach drops so fast I actually feel dizzy. Another alert arrives while I'm looking. $15,000 withdrawn. Then another, $20,000 withdrawn. My savings account, the one I've been building for 6 years, the one that had $47,000 in it this morning, the one that represents every overtime shift and skipped vacation and dinner of rice and beans I've eaten since I was 22 years old, is sitting at $3,200. I can't breathe. My hands are shaking so badly, I almost drop my phone as I call the fraud department. The hold music is some kind of upbeat jazz that makes me want to throw up. When a representative finally answers, I can barely get the words out. "Someone drained my account. I didn't authorize this. I need to freeze everything right now." The woman on the other end is professional, kind. She pulls up my account. I see 3 large withdrawals made at our Lakewood branch at 10:47, 10:52, and 11:01 this morning. They were in-person withdrawals made with your debit card and PIN. That's impossible. My card is right here. I'm dumping my wallet out on my desk, and there it is, my debit card, exactly where it should be. I'm at work. I haven't been to Lakewood in months. Let me pull the surveillance footage. There's a pause, keyboard clicking. "Ma'am, I'm going to email you a screenshot. Can you confirm whether you recognize the individual making the withdrawal? My email pings. I open it. It's my mother. She's standing at the teller window in her purple fleece jacket, the one with the bleach stain on the sleeve, holding what must be my old debit card. The one I reported lost 2 years ago and replaced, except I guess I never actually destroyed it because I'm an idiot who leaves things in junk drawers. She's smiling at the teller, probably chatting, being charming Carol who everyone loves. She's stealing $47,000 from me, and she's asterisk smiling. I try to call her. Voicemail. I try again. Voicemail. I call my dad, my hands still shaking, and he picks up on the third ring. Hey, sweetheart, what's up? Dad, where's Mom? Running errands, I think. She had the day off. Why? I close my eyes. Dad, did you know she took $47,000 out of my savings account this morning? Silence, then, oh, honey, she was going to talk to you about that. Talk to me. Dad, she stole from me. Now, Jenna, don't, it's not like that. Derek got arrested again last night. DUI, and he hit a mailbox or a fence or something, so there's property damage. The bail was $35,000 and we didn't have it. The lawyer needs a retainer too. Your mom remembered you gave her your PIN a few years back for emergencies and well, he trails off, like this explanation makes perfect sense. This was an emergency. I actually laugh, except it comes out like a sob. An emergency? Dad, that was my asterisk life savings. That was 6 years of working 60-hour weeks. That was my down payment fund. That was... My voice cracks and I have to stop. I know, honey, and we'll pay you back, but Derek was going to sit in jail, and you know how your mom gets about him. She just panicked. Dad, do you hear yourself? She committed an asterisk felony. She's your mother, Jenna. She didn't commit anything. It's family money. That's when I know. He genuinely believes this. They both do. In their minds, my money isn't really mine. It's family resources, available for emergencies, and emergencies are defined as whatever Derek needs this week. I've been the responsible one my entire life. I've been the one who didn't need help, who figured things out, who worked and saved and never asked for anything. And the second I finally had something of my own, something I built with my own hands, they took it. They took it, and they don't even think they did anything wrong. I need you to understand how we got here, because none of this makes sense without context. So let me take you back. I'm the youngest. Derek is 3 years older, and from the time we were kids, the dynamic was set. He was the star, and I was the easy one. He was varsity baseball, homecoming court, the kid everyone knew. I was honor roll and invisible, which was fine. I liked being invisible. It was safer. But when Derek got in trouble, and he got in trouble a lot, starting with stupid teenage stuff like tagging the school or getting caught with beer, escalating to failing out of his first semester at CU Boulder, to his first DUI at 23, our entire family mobilized around him. My parents would drop everything. There were late-night phone calls, frantic drives to pick him up, emergency family meetings at the kitchen table. Mom would cry, Dad would lecture, and then they'd fix it. Bail money, lawyer fees, paying his rent when he lost another job because he didn't fit the culture. When I needed help, and I didn't ask often because I learned early not to, there was never money. When I needed $75 for AP exam fees, I was told to babysit for it. When my car broke down my sophomore year of college and the repair was $1,200, I was told, "We just don't have it right now, honey," even though they'd written Derek a $3,000 check for his DUI lawyer 2 months earlier. So I worked. I put myself through community college, then transferred to state school, working full-time at a hospital staffing agency, while Derek partied through a degree in communications that my parents paid for. He graduated with no debt and no job prospects. I graduated with $18,000 in loans and a job offer. The pattern was set, and it never changed. Derek needed, and the family gave. I managed, so I was left to manage. I've bylaid my brother out, emotionally, financially, logistically, at least a dozen times in the last decade. Small stuff, mostly. $200 here for rent, $400 there for a phone bill, letting him crash on my couch for 3 weeks when he got evicted. Each time Mom would call, her voice tight and worried. "He's really struggling, Jenna. He just needs a little help to get back on his feet." And each time I helped because that's what you do. Family helps family. I never saw a dime back. When I'd bring it up, gently, apologetically, Derek would say, "I'm good for it, I swear," and then never mention it again. Mom would say, "He's going through a hard time right now. Can you just give him some grace?" The pin thing happened 4 years ago. Mom had a health scare. They thought it might be a heart attack, but it turned out to be a severe panic attack, and she asked if she could have access to my checking account, just in case she needed someone to pay bills while she was in the hospital. It made sense at the time. Dad's not good with money stuff. I was her emergency contact. I wrote the pin on a Post-it note and stuck it in her wallet, and then she was fine, and I forgot all about it. I never thought she'd use it like this. I never thought I had to protect myself from my own mother. But here's the thing I'm only now realizing, sitting at my desk staring at that surveillance photo. This was always going to happen. Maybe not this exact thing, but something like it. Because in the Caldwell family, there's an unspoken rule that no one ever says out loud. Jenna's needs are negotiable. Derek's are emergencies. I learned to be small, to not need anything, to take care of myself, and it turned my competence into a weapon they used against me. And I'm done. I call my mother 17 times over the next 2 days. She finally picks up on the 18th. "Jenna, honey, I know you're upset." "Upset? Mom, you stole $47,000 from me." "I didn't steal anything." Her voice takes on that wounded tone, the one that's always made me feel like I'm the one being unreasonable. "I borrowed it. There's a difference. Derek was sitting in jail. He could have lost his job. His whole future was on the line. He drove drunk for the 3rd time and hit someone's fence. That's not a future on the line. That's consequences he earned. He made a mistake. We all make mistakes." She's getting defensive now, voice rising. "I'm your mother, Jenna. I gave birth to you. I raised you. And now you're going to treat me like some kind of criminal over money." The word money comes out dripping with disdain, like I'm being petty and small for caring about something as crass as $47,000. "When are you going to pay me back?" Silence. Then, "We will, of course we will, we just need a little time." "How much time? And how? What's the plan?" "I don't know, Jenna. I haven't worked it all out yet. Things are tight right now with Derek's legal fees." "No." The word comes out harder than I intended. "You don't get to use Derek's legal fees as an excuse when you paid for those legal fees with my money. I need a plan. I need a timeline. I need this in writing." "In writing?" She sounds genuinely shocked. "You want me to sign some kind of contract? I'm your mother, not a stranger off the street." "Then act like my mother and give me back what you took." She's quiet for a long moment. When she speaks again, her voice has changed, softer, more calculated. "After everything we've done for you, we raised you. We fed you, put a roof over your head, drove you to every school event, paid for your braces. We never asked you to pay us back for any of that. And now you're going to nickel and dime your own mother." It's so perfectly calibrated to make me feel guilty that I almost apologize. Almost. But then I think about the rice and beans I ate for 2 years straight. The vacation my friends took to Mexico that I said no to because I was saving. The 15-year-old Honda Civic I'm still driving because I couldn't justify a car payment when I had goals. "You're right," I say. "You raised me. That was your job as a parent. It's not a debt I owe you, and it doesn't give you the right to take my money." She gasps like I've slapped her. "I can't believe you just said that to me." "When am I getting my money back, Mom?" She hangs up. My dad calls an hour later, doing his peacekeeper routine. "Jenna, sweetheart, you know how your mother gets. She's really hurt right now." "She's hurt. Dad, she stole from me." "Don't use that word. She's your mother. She made a panicked decision because Derek was in trouble. Just give us some time to work out a payment plan. You know we're not exactly flush with cash." "I do know. I've been doing their taxes for the last 5 years because Dad can't figure out TurboTax and Mom just ignores receipts. They make decent money, 2 steady incomes, the house paid off, but they spend every cent. new furniture they don't need, picking up the tab at family dinners to look generous, bailing out Derek every 6 months like clockwork. How much can you pay me per month? I don't know, maybe 300. At 300 a month, it'll take 13 years to pay me back, plus interest. Interest, he sounds offended. We're family, Jenna. Then family should pay back what they take. There's a long pause. I'll talk to your mother, just give us a week or two, okay? And maybe don't mention this to anyone else, it's private family business. Of course it is. We wouldn't want anyone to know that golden boy Derek got his 3rd DUI, or that mom committed bank fraud to bail him out. We wouldn't want to tarnish the family image. I want to scream. Instead, I say, 1 week, then I'm filing a police report. Jenna. I hang up. Derek texts me that night. Hey sis, heard pissed. I get it, but mom was freaking out and I was literally in jail, so thanks for the help, I guess. I'll get you back when things settle down. No timeline, no amount, no actual apology, just the vague promise of someday, which in Derek speak means never. I don't respond. 3 days later, my mom's sister, Aunt Linda, calls. Jenna, honey, your mom told me what's going on. My stomach sinks. What did she tell you? That you're upset about her borrowing some money for Derek's emergency, and you're threatening her with police and lawyers. She's beside herself. Did she tell you it was $47,000? Did she tell you she took it without asking? Linda hesitates. Well, she said you'd given her access to your account for emergencies. 4 years ago, for a specific situation, not blanket permission to drain my entire savings. Oh, another pause. That's different than what she said. I'm sure it is. We hang up and I realize my mother is already spinning the narrative. I'm the ungrateful daughter who's making a big deal over nothing. She's the suffering mother who's being persecuted for trying to help her son. And it's working. When the week deadline passes with no payment plan, no apology, and no acknowledgement that anything wrong even happened, I know I have to make a choice. I can keep asking nicely and get nothing. I can file a police report and have my mother arrested, which would destroy the family and probably wouldn't even get me my money back since a lawyer already told me it's murky with the PIN situation. Or I can use the one piece of leverage I actually have. I'm lying in bed at 2 a.m, staring at my ceiling when it clicks. My mother works at St. Anne's Hospital as a staff nurse. St. Anne's contracts their nursing staff through agencies, including, I sit up in bed as my brain catches up, MedStaff Solutions. My company. The company where I've worked for 6 years, climbing from a junior coordinator to my current position as Regional Director of Operations for the Denver region. The company where I oversee the St. Anne's contract. I grab my laptop and pull up our employee database, my heart pounding. I shouldn't be doing this. It's a conflict of interest to look up family members, but I type her name anyway. There she is, Carol Caldwell, RN BSN. Contract employee assigned to St. Anne's Hospital, status, active. And her supervisor's supervisor, the regional director overseeing her contract, is listed as Jenna Caldwell. I got promoted 2 months ago. In the chaos of the new role, learning systems, meeting with hospital administrators, managing a team of 12, I never thought about the fact that my mother's contract would fall under my purview now. She works in post-surgical, barely uses email, and our paths have never crossed professionally. I didn't even know MedStaff handled her contract until now. But we have policies about this. Clear, explicit policies about conflicts of interest and family relationships. Employees are required to disclose any family members working in their supervisory chain. I pull up the handbook and read through section 7.3, Conflicts of Interest and Nepotism. Employees must immediately disclose any family relationships that could create actual or perceived conflicts of interest, including but not limited to direct or indirect supervisory relationships. Failure to disclose may result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. My mother never disclosed this, and technically, neither did I, though I was just promoted and haven't had my quarterly compliance review yet. I keep reading. There's a process. Disclosure triggers an HR review, and usually the employee is transferred to a different supervisor or region to eliminate the conflict. It's not punitive, it's protective, but it's mandatory. Then I click through to my mother's personnel file, and my stomach twists. I shouldn't be looking at this. It's absolutely a breach of protocol to access employee files for personal reasons, but I can't stop myself. 2 write-ups for tardiness in the last year, 1 verbal warning for unprofessional attitude toward charge nurse, multiple instances of calling out sick on short notice, burning through nearly all her PTO, and a note from her previous supervisor. Carol is clinically competent but struggles with accountability, becomes defensive when given constructive feedback. Monitor closely. There's also an attendance note from 3 months ago, right around Derek's second DUI. Called out for a family emergency. Then came in 2 days later, and according to the incident note, made inappropriate comments to staff about management being power-tripping when asked about the absence. This is my mother, the woman who presents herself as the dependable nurse, the martyr who sacrifices everything for her family. And here, on paper, is a pattern of unprofessionalism and poor boundaries. I close the laptop and sit in the dark. I could disclose the family relationship to HR. It's the right thing to do, the ethical thing. It would trigger a review, and my mother would probably be transferred to a different regional contract, maybe somewhere less convenient, maybe with a different shift. It wouldn't be punishment, just protocol. But if she finds out I'm the one who initiated it, especially right now, she'll see it as retaliation. She'll tell everyone I'm using my position to hurt her, and maybe she'd be right. Or I could use this, not to hurt her. I don't want to hurt her, even now, but to make her understand that I'm not powerless, that she can't just take from me and expect no consequences. I think about Angela Rodriguez, our HR director. She's fair, thorough, doesn't tolerate nonsense. I think about our company's ethics policy, which I helped revise last year. I think about the phrase I used in that policy. Professional integrity requires that we address conflicts of interest proactively, not punitively, to protect both the company and our employees. What if I disclosed the relationship, but made it conditional? What if I said, I'll work within the firewall protocol and keep our professional and personal lives separate, but only if she makes this right. Only if she signs a legally binding repayment plan. Is that ethical? Is that an abuse of power? Or is it just using the only leverage I have to protect myself from someone who's already proven she won't respect boundaries? I don't sleep the rest of the night. By the time the sun comes up, I've made my decision. I'm going to HR. I schedule a meeting with Angela for that afternoon. I tell her assistant it's about a conflict of interest disclosure, which gets me in immediately. The company takes this stuff seriously. Angela's office is small but organized, everything in neat stacks, a photo of her wife and kids on the desk. She gestures for me to sit and folds her hands on her desk. What's going on, Jenna? I take a breath. I need to disclose a family relationship that creates a conflict of interest. My mother, Carol Caldwell, is a contract RN at St. Anne's. I didn't realize until recently that she's in my region. Angela's eyebrows go up. And she didn't disclose this either. No. She pulls up something on her computer, scanning. You were promoted 8 weeks ago. Carol's been with us for 3 years. So this became a conflict recently from your end, but she should have flagged it when you joined the company. I didn't know she worked for med staff. We don't talk about work. Angela nods slowly. Okay, this is fixable. Standard protocol is we transfer one of you to eliminate the conflict. Given that you're regional director, we'd transfer her to a different region. It might mean a different hospital, possibly different shifts, but we'll work with her to find something comparable. There's more, I say, and my voice sounds steadier than I feel. There's a personal situation that's relevant. I walk her through it. The theft, I use that word because that's what it is. The $47,000, the PIN from years ago, the refusal to create a repayment plan. I show her the bank records, the surveillance photo, the texts from my family. Angela's face goes carefully neutral, but I can see the moment she shifts from HR manager to someone genuinely concerned. Jenna, this is really serious. Have you filed a police report? Not yet. She's my mother. I wanted to try to resolve it privately first. And has that worked? No. She leans back in her chair. Okay, here's the situation. From an HR perspective, the conflict of interest alone requires action. But this personal situation makes it more complicated. If there's tension between you two, and obviously there is, then having her in your supervisory chain, even indirectly, is a liability for the company and unfair to both of you. I know. We'll need to transfer her. I can start that process today. But Jenna, she pauses, choosing her words carefully. You accessing her personnel file for personal reasons, if you've done that, would be a serious breach. I need to ask, have you looked at her file? My mouth goes dry. Yes, last night. I know I shouldn't have. She closes her eyes briefly. Okay, appreciate the honesty. That's a compliance issue we'll need to address separately. For now, let's focus on the conflict of interest. I'll handle the transfer personally. Carol will get a letter and a call from me explaining the policy and her options. This won't come from you. What if... I stop, not sure how to say it. What if she reacts badly? What if she makes this about the personal situation and tries to retaliate or create problems at work? Then we document it, and we handle it as a conduct issue. Jenna, I need to be very clear with you. You cannot use your position to punish her for the theft. That would be an abuse of authority, and I'd have to act on it. But you also have the right to protect yourself from someone who's proven they'll violate your boundaries. If she brings the personal conflict into the workplace, that's on her, and we'll address it. I nod. My hands are shaking. There's one more thing, I say quietly. I don't want a quiet transfer. I want her to understand that actions have consequences. I want a formal process. I want documentation. Is there a way to make this official without it being punitive? Angela studies me for a long moment. What are you actually asking for, Jenna? I want a meeting. You, me, her. Disclosure of the conflict, explanation of the policy, and a clear statement that if she has any issues with me, personal or professional, she needs to go through proper channels. No showing up at my office. No confronting me in parking lots. Boundaries. Has she done that? Confronted you at work? Not yet, but I think she will. Angela makes a note. Okay, I can arrange a disclosure meeting. It's a little unusual, but given the circumstances, it makes sense. I'll schedule it for next week. In the meantime, if she contacts you at work or on work property about the personal matter, you document it and you tell me immediately. Understood. Understood. And Jenna, I'm sorry you're dealing with this, but you did the right thing coming to me. I nod, not trusting myself to speak, because I don't know if I did the right thing. I don't know if I'm protecting myself or crossing a line. All I know is that for the first time in my life, I have power in this dynamic, and I'm going to use it. I spend the rest of the day pulling together documentation. I make copies of everything. Bank statements, the withdrawal records, text messages, the email I sent asking for a repayment plan. I print out the employee handbook section on conflicts of interest. I even draft a proposed repayment plan, $500 per month for 94 months, with 3% annual interest to account for what I'm losing by not having that money in my high-yield savings account. It's cold, it's clinical, it's exactly what my family would hate. And it's the only way I know how to survive this. Angela schedules the formal meeting for the following Tuesday, which gives me 5 days to prepare. 5 days to doubt myself, to imagine every possible way this could go wrong, to lie awake at night wondering if I'm about to blow up my entire family over money. Except it's not about the money. It never was. On Thursday, I try one more time to resolve this privately. I sit down at my kitchen table with my laptop and draft an email to my parents. I revise it 4 times, trying to find the balance between firm and loving, between boundaries and bridge burning. The final version is short. Mom and Dad asterisk. I've given this situation a lot of thought. The $47,000 taken from my account without my knowledge or permission was not a loan. It was theft. I understand you were in a difficult position with Derek, but that doesn't change what happened. I'm willing to move forward without involving the police, but I need a formal, legally binding repayment plan. $500 per month for 94 months, with 3% interest to account for lost investment growth. I need this in writing, signed and notarized within 1 week. If I don't receive a commitment by next Wednesday, I will file a claim in small claims court. I love you both, but I can't continue to be treated as the family emergency fund while my own needs and boundaries are ignored. This is non-negotiable. Jenna. I read it over one more time, my finger hovering over the send button. This feels like stepping off a cliff. Once I send this, there's no taking it back. I hit send. The response is immediate. My phone starts ringing within 2 minutes. It's my mother. I don't answer. She calls again. On the 4th call, I pick up. How dare you? She's not crying. She's screaming, her voice so loud I have to pull the phone away from my ear. How dare you threaten me? After everything I've done for you, everything I've sacrificed, you're going to threaten your own mother with lawyers and courts. Mom, I just need. You need. Do you have any idea what you're doing to this family? Your brother is going through the hardest time of his life. He could lose his license. He could lose everything. And you're worried about money. It's not about the money. It's about you taking it without asking. I'm your mother. I shouldn't have to ask to help my own son. There it is. The thing she's never said out loud before but has always believed. My resources aren't mine. They're family property, available for redistribution based on whoever needs them most. And Derek always needs them most. I want my money back, Mom. She laughs, sharp and bitter. Well, we don't have it. Derek's lawyer needs another retainer. His car insurance tripled. We're paying for his DUI classes, so I guess you'll just have to wait. Then sign the payment plan. $500 a month. We can't afford that. Then what can you afford? Silence. Then, quietly, dangerously. I can't believe you're doing this. Wait until everyone finds out what kind of daughter you really are. She hangs up. My father calls 10 minutes later, his voice tired. Jenna, sweetheart, your mother is very upset. I know, Dad, I heard. Can't we just work this out as a family, without all the legal stuff? It feels so cold. What does work it out mean, specifically? I don't know. Give us some time to get our feet under us, and we'll start paying you back when we can. When is that? A month, a year, 10 years? I don't know, Jenna. We're doing the best we can. I need a plan, Dad, in writing. That's all I'm asking. Your mother says $500 a month is too much. Okay, what's not too much? Another long pause. Maybe 100. At $100 a month, it would take 39 years to pay me back. I'll be 67 years old. Well, I don't know what you want from us. The frustration in his voice breaks something in me. I want you to acknowledge that what Mom did was wrong. I want you to take responsibility instead of making excuses. I want you to care about me and my future as much as you care about Derek and his problems. The line goes quiet. When he speaks again, his voice is soft. That's not fair, Jenna. We love you just as much as we love your brother. Then prove it. Sign the payment plan. He sighs. I'll talk to your mother. He doesn't call back. Derek texts me Friday night. Seriously, you're gonna sue Mom and Dad over money I needed to stay out of jail? Wow, sis. Real nice. Didn't know you were so cold. I stare at the message for a long time. Then I type, You're 31 years old. This is your 3rd DUI. At some point, consequences are supposed to teach you something. I hope they do. I block his number before he can respond. Saturday morning, my cousin Melissa calls. She's Derek's age, always been closer to him than to me. Hey, so I heard there's some drama going on. Derek said you're refusing to help with his legal stuff. That's not what happened. He said you're demanding money back that you gave Mom for his bail. I didn't give her anything. She took $47,000 from my account without asking. Oh, a pause. He didn't mention that part. I'm sure he didn't. Sunday, I hear nothing. The silence is almost worse than the yelling. Monday morning, I'm in my office going through contract renewals when security calls. Ms. Caldwell, we have a Carol Caldwell here to see you. She says she's your mother. She doesn't have an appointment. My stomach drops. Where is she? Parking lot, level 2. I'll be right there. I grab my phone and head down, my heart pounding. When I step out of the stairwell into the parking garage, I see her immediately. She's in her scrubs, purple this time, with little cartoon stethoscopes on them, standing next to my car with her arms crossed. Mom, what are you doing here? We need to talk. I'm at work. This isn't the time. You won't answer my calls. You sent that awful email. What am I supposed to do? People are walking past us, coworkers heading in for their shifts, vendors making deliveries. I'm acutely aware that we're having this conversation in public, on company property. Mom, please, not here. Where then? You've made it very clear you don't want to talk to family anymore. That's not true. I just need you to take responsibility for what you did. Her face crumples, and for a second I think she's going to cry. But then her expression hardens. Responsibility? I took responsibility for raising you, for feeding you, clothing you, driving you everywhere you needed to go. I took responsibility when you had the flu in 3rd grade and I stayed up with you all night. I took responsibility when you needed braces and we paid for them even though money was tight. Mom. And now, when your brother, Jenna, your own flesh and blood, needs help, you want to talk about money. You want to lawyer up and threaten us. Her voice is getting louder. A woman getting out of her car 2 spaces over glances at us nervously. Mom, lower your voice. Don't tell me what to do. You think because you have some fancy job title now, you can look down on your family. You think you're better than us. I don't think that. You're going to ruin this family over money. Money, Jenna. After everything we've done for you, after everything we've been through together, you're choosing money over your own mother. You're the one who took the money. The words come out louder than I intended, sharp enough that the woman by the other car actually stops walking. Mom notices her too. She takes a step closer to me, her voice dropping to a harsh whisper. I'm your mother. I shouldn't have to beg my own daughter for understanding, but I guess I raised you wrong. I guess I raised a selfish, ungrateful. Ma'am, a security guard is approaching, hand up in a calming gesture. I'm going to need to ask you to lower your voice. This is private property. Mom whirls on him. I'm talking to my daughter. I understand, ma'am, but you're creating a disturbance. If you're not here for business purposes, I need to ask you to leave. Business purposes, this is my daughter. Mom, I say quietly, please just go. She looks at me and the hurt in her eyes is so raw it makes my chest ache. Fine, but you're making a mistake, Jenna. Family is forever, these people. She gestures at the building. They don't care about you. They'll toss you aside the second you're not useful, but we're your family. We'll always be your family. She turns and walks to her car, gets in and drives away. The security guard looks at me. You okay, Ms. Caldwell? Yeah, thanks. My hands are shaking. I should probably. Can you file an incident report on that? Already on it. Do you want to add anything? Just that she's not authorized to visit me here. If she shows up again, please don't let her in. He nods and walks away. I stand in the parking garage for another minute, trying to get my breathing under control. Then I pull out my phone and text Angela, need to talk. My mother just showed up at the office and confronted me in the parking lot. Security intervened. Her response is immediate, my office, now. I spend 20 minutes with Angela, recounting what happened while she takes notes. She's calm, professional, but I can see the concern in her eyes. This is exactly the kind of situation the conflict of interest policy is designed to prevent, she says. Personal issues bleeding into the workplace. I'm moving up the meeting to tomorrow. And Jenna, if she shows up here again, we're going to have to take formal disciplinary action. She was on the clock when this happened. I checked. She's supposed to be at St. Anne's right now. She left work to come here. Apparently. Angela shakes her head. This is getting messy. Are you sure you want to proceed with the meeting? We could just transfer her quietly, and you could handle the personal stuff on your own timeline. I think about my mother's face, the genuine confusion in her voice when she asked why I was choosing money over family. She really, truly doesn't understand what she did wrong. And she never will, unless someone makes her face it. I'm sure, I say. My mother calls that night, and this time her approach is completely different. She's crying. Jenna, honey, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have come to your work. I wasn't thinking clearly. I'm just so stressed about Derek and the money situation, and now I'm worried they're going to fire me because I left my shift early. Are you in trouble at work? I don't know. My supervisor asked why I left the floor, and I said it was a family emergency, but she seemed irritated. Her voice cracks. I can't lose this job, Jenna. We need my income, especially now with everything going on with Derek. There it is, the thing she wants, the reason for the call. Please, she says, and she sounds so small. Please don't let them fire me. I know you're upset with me and you have every right to be. I made a mistake. I should have asked you first. I know that now. For a second, I feel myself softening. This is the mother I remember from childhood, the one who would cry when she was overwhelmed, who would apologize after she'd been too harsh, who would collapse into vulnerability and need me to tell her it was okay. Will you sign a repayment plan? I ask. Silence, then. Jenna. We just don't have that kind of money right now. Derek's lawyer is saying he might need. No. What? No, I don't want to hear about Derek's lawyer. I don't want to hear about what Derek needs. I want to hear about when you're going to pay me back. I told you, we will, but we need time. How much can you afford per month? I don't know, maybe $50. $50 on a $47,000 debt. That's not a real plan, Mom. That's a way to avoid accountability forever. I'm not trying to avoid. She stops, and when she speaks again, the tears are gone and her voice is cold. You know what? Fine, do whatever you're going to do. Take me to court. Get me fired. Destroy this family. But you're going to have to live with yourself after. You're going to have to live with the fact that you chose money over your own mother. You chose Derek over me, I say quietly. You've been choosing Derek over me my entire life, and I'm done pretending that's normal. He's your brother. He needs help. And I needed my savings. I needed that money for my future, for my security, for the life I've been building. But that didn't matter to you because I'm the responsible one. I'm the one who doesn't need help. Except I did need help, Mom. I needed you to respect me. I needed you to see me as more than just a resource to tap when Derek screws up again. She's quiet for a long moment. When she speaks, her voice is shaking. You're really going to do this? You're really going to use your position at work against me? I'm not using anything against you. I disclosed a conflict of interest that should have been disclosed years ago. What happens next is up to you. What does that mean? I take a deep breath. There's a meeting tomorrow with HR. They're going to explain the company's conflict of interest policy and what our options are. If you handle it professionally, it'll be fine. If you bring our personal issues into it, there will be consequences. You can't threaten me. I'm not threatening you. I'm telling you how professional workplaces operate. And Mom, you showed up at my office today. You left your shift without proper authorization. You confronted me in a parking lot in front of coworkers. That's already documented. So when HR asks you tomorrow if you can keep personal and professional separate, you should think very carefully about your answer. I can't believe you're doing this. Her voice breaks. Family is supposed to be forever, Jenna. Jobs come and go, but family. Family is supposed to respect each other, I interrupt. Family is supposed to care about each other's well-being. Family isn't supposed to steal from each other and then make the victim feel guilty for asking for their money back. She's crying again, but this time it sounds different, angrier. You're going to regret this. You think these people at your company care about you? You think they'll be there when you need them? They won't. But we will. We'll always be your family. And someday you're going to need us and you're going to remember this moment. Maybe, I say, but at least I'll still have my savings account. I hang up before she can respond. My hands are shaking so badly I have to set the phone down. I walk to my kitchen, pour myself a glass of water, and stand at the sink trying to calm my breathing. I just threatened my own mother's job. I just told her that her actions would have consequences at work. I just drew a line so firm and so public that there's no going back from it. And the worst part, I don't feel victorious. I don't feel powerful. I feel sick. I call the therapist I found last week, the one who had a cancellation and could fit me in for an emergency appointment. Her name is Dr. Sarah Kim, and she specializes in family systems and boundary setting. When she answers, I don't even say hello. I think I'm about to ruin my family, I say. Tell me what happened. I walk her through everything. The theft, the meeting tomorrow, the parking lot confrontation, my mother's phone call. By the time I finish, I'm crying. Do you think I'm doing the right thing? I ask. I think, she says carefully, that you're doing a very hard thing. Whether it's right depends on your values. What matters more to you, keeping the peace or protecting yourself? I've kept the peace my whole life. It never protected me. Then you have your answer. We talk for another 30 minutes. She teaches me grounding techniques for tomorrow's meeting. She reminds me that I can't control how my mother reacts, only how I respond. She tells me that family members who truly love us should be able to hear no without punishing us. When we hang up, I feel steadier. Not good, but steadier. I spend the rest of the evening preparing. I print out the bank statements again. I print out the email I sent requesting a repayment plan. I print out the company's conflict of interest policy, highlighted. I practice what I'm going to say, standing in front of my bathroom mirror like I'm rehearsing for a presentation. This is a professional matter. I'm here to disclose a conflict of interest and ensure we're in compliance with company policy. My reflection looks tired, older than 28. I am not doing this to punish anyone. I'm doing this to protect appropriate boundaries. I sound more confident than I feel. My phone buzzes. It's a text from a number I don't recognize. This is Linda. Your mother called me crying. I don't know what's going on, but she says you're trying to get her fired. That doesn't sound like you. What's really happening? I stare at the message. Aunt Linda, the one who called before, the one who listened when I told her the real story. I type back, Mom took $47K from my account without asking. I asked for a repayment plan. She refused. She also works for my company and never disclosed our relationship, which is against policy. Tomorrow, HR is addressing the conflict of interest. If she handles it professionally, her job is fine. If she doesn't, that's her choice. 3 dots appear, disappear, appear again. Finally, Jesus, Jenna, I'm so sorry she didn't tell me any of that. Do what you need to do. You don't owe her anything. The message makes me cry again, but this time it's relief. Someone believes me. Someone sees what's really happening. I sleep poorly, waking up every couple hours to check the time. By 5 a.m., I give up and get in the shower. The meeting is at 9. At 8:45, I'm sitting in the small conference room next to Angela's office, watching the clock. Angela is reviewing her notes. She's brought in Marcus from legal, just as a precaution. He'll observe but not participate unless things go off the rails. At 8:52, the receptionist calls. Carol Caldwell is here. Send her in, Angela says. The door opens, and my mother walks in. She's in civilian clothes, black slacks and a cardigan, and her face is carefully composed. She looks at Angela, at Marcus, at the empty chair across from me. She doesn't look at me at all. Ms. Caldwell, thank you for coming, Angela says. Please have a seat. My mother sits. Her hands are folded in her lap, and I can see they're shaking slightly. This is it. There's no going back now. Angela opens a folder and slides a document across the table toward my mother. Ms. Caldwell, thank you for meeting with us on short notice. This is regarding a conflict of interest disclosure under Section 7.3 of our Employee Handbook. Are you familiar with our conflict of interest policy? My mother glances at the paper without picking it up. I've read the handbook. Good. Then you're aware that employees are required to disclose any family relationships that could create actual or perceived conflicts of interest, particularly those involving supervisory relationships. I suppose. Ms. Caldwell, your regional director, the person who oversees your contract placement, performance reviews, and has access to your employment records, is Jenna Caldwell, your daughter. Angela's voice is perfectly neutral, but the words land like stones. You've been employed with med staff for 3 years. Jenna was promoted to regional director 8 weeks ago. At no point did you disclose this relationship. Can you help me understand why? My mother's jaw tightens. She finally looks at me just for a second, and I see something like betrayal in her eyes. Then she looks back at Angela. I didn't think it mattered. We don't work together. I'm at the hospital. She's here. Our paths never cross. The policy doesn't require direct daily contact, Marcus from legal interjects quietly. It requires disclosure of any relationship that could create a conflict of interest. Your daughter has access to your personnel file, your performance reviews, your scheduling, and your contract terms. That's a significant conflict. I didn't know she had access to all that. It's outlined in the organizational chart you received when you were onboarded, and again in the annual compliance training you completed in January. My mother's face flushes. I don't remember every detail of every training. Angela nods, making a note. I understand. That's why we're addressing it now. Going forward, we have 2 options. Option 1, you transfer to a different regional contract outside of Jenna's supervisory chain. We'd work with you to find a comparable placement, possibly a different hospital system, but we'd try to keep the shift and compensation similar. You want me to leave St. Anne's? I've been there for 3 years. I know the staff, the systems, the patients. Option 2, Angela continues, is that you remain at St. Anne's under what we call a firewall protocol. Jenna would recuse herself from any decisions involving your employment. Your performance reviews, scheduling issues, and any disciplinary matters would be escalated to her supervisor. You and Jenna would maintain strictly professional boundaries at all times. No personal discussions on company property. No contact about family matters during work hours. My mother laughs, sharp and bitter. Strictly professional boundaries with my own daughter. Yes. This is ridiculous. You're making me choose between my job and my family. No, Angela says firmly. We're asking you to choose between 2 professional arrangements, both of which are designed to protect you, Jenna, and the company from conflicts of interest. Your family relationship isn't changing. The reporting structure is. My mother turns to me, her voice rising. Is this what you want? You want me transferred? You want to humiliate me in front of my colleagues by making it clear my own daughter can't work with me? Mom, I start, but Angela holds up a hand. Ms. Caldwell, this is not a personal conversation. This is an HR meeting about company policy. I need you to keep your comments focused on the professional issue at hand. The professional issue? My daughter is sitting right there. How is this not personal? Because, I say, and my voice sounds calmer than I feel, we're addressing a conflict of interest that should have been disclosed 3 years ago. I didn't create this policy. I'm not targeting you. I'm following the same rules every other employee has to follow. You accessed my personnel file. Angela just said you have access to my reviews, my records. Have you been looking at them? Have you been digging through my file because you're angry about the money? The room goes very still. Angela looks at me. Jenna. I feel my face get hot. Yes, I looked at her file once before I came to you to disclose the conflict. I know that was inappropriate, and I take full responsibility for that breach. Marcus writes something down. My mother's eyes widen, like she's just won a point. I see, Angela says slowly. We'll address that separately, Jenna, but Ms. Caldwell, that doesn't change the fact that the conflict of interest exists and needs to be resolved. And it brings me to the second issue we need to discuss. She pulls out another document. Yesterday at approximately 2:15 p.m., you left your assigned shift at St. Anne's and came to this facility. Security documented an altercation between you and Jenna in the parking garage. A report was filed. Can you tell me what happened? My mother's defiance falters. I needed to talk to my daughter. About a personal matter. About a family matter, yes. During your scheduled work hours, on company property, resulting in a disturbance that required security intervention. She won't answer my calls. What was I supposed to do? Not confront her at work, Angela says, and there's steel in her voice now. Ms. Caldwell, I'm going to be very direct with you. You left your contracted shift without proper authorization. You came to a different facility and confronted an employee, who happens to be a director-level employee, about a personal dispute. When asked to lower your voice, you escalated. This is unprofessional conduct, combined with your existing performance issues. What performance issues? My mother's voice cracks. Angela flips open the file. 2 documented instances of tardiness in the past year. A verbal warning for unprofessional attitude toward your charge nurse. Multiple last-minute call-outs, including one where you made inappropriate comments about management when questioned about the absence. Those were family emergencies, which you're entitled to have. But the pattern, combined with yesterday's incident, raises concerns about your ability to maintain professional boundaries, particularly when those boundaries involve family members. My mother looks at me, and her expression is pure anguish. You're really going to let them do this? You're going to sit there and let them threaten me? I'm not letting anyone do anything, I say, and I'm surprised by how steady my voice is. You came to my workplace and yelled at me. You took $47,000 from my account without asking. You refused to pay it back or even acknowledge that what you did was wrong. What did you think was going to happen? I didn't take anything. I borrowed it for your brother. Ms. Caldwell, Marcus interrupts, this meeting is not the appropriate venue to discuss the personal financial matter. But I will note for the record that if you continue to bring personal disputes into professional settings, that in itself becomes a professional issue. My mother's face crumples. She looks around the table, at Angela's professional neutrality, at Marcus's careful notes, at me, and I watch the exact moment she realizes she's not going to win this by crying or yelling or making me feel guilty. What happens now? She asks quietly. You receive a formal written warning for the incident yesterday, Angela says. You choose between the transfer or the firewall protocol, and you commit to maintaining professional boundaries going forward. If there's another incident, another confrontation with Jenna, another personal matter brought into the workplace, another departure from your shift without authorization, it will result in termination. And if I don't agree to any of this, then you're choosing to resign. The silence stretches out. I can hear the clock on the wall ticking. I can hear someone laughing in the hallway outside. My mother looks at me. Is there anything I can do to make this right, with you? It's the first time she's asked. In 2 weeks of phone calls and texts and confrontations, it's the first time she's actually asked what I need. Sign a repayment plan, I say. $500 a month until the full amount is repaid. In writing, legally binding. That's all I've ever asked for. And if I do that, this all goes away. The HR stuff, the transfer, all of it. No, Angela says. The conflict of interest still needs to be addressed. But if you sign the repayment plan, Jenna has indicated she'd be comfortable with the firewall protocol rather than requiring a transfer. My mother stares at me. You'd still make me do the firewall thing, even if I pay you back. You work in my region, Mom. That's a fact. The policy exists whether I want it to or not. But yes, if you make this right, I'm willing to work within the firewall instead of asking for you to be transferred. How generous, she says, and the bitterness in her voice stings. It's not about generosity. It's about boundaries. You violated mine. Now there are consequences. This is what consequences look like. She looks at Angela. What do I need to sign? Angela slides 2 documents across the table. This one is the written warning for yesterday's incident. This one is your agreement to the firewall protocol, which includes a clause that any violation of professional boundaries will result in immediate termination. If you and Jenna want to work out a separate repayment agreement for the personal matter, that's between you two. But I'd recommend you do it through a mediator or in writing with legal review. My mother picks up a pen. Her hand is shaking. She signs both documents without reading them, then pushes them back toward Angela. Are we done? Almost. I need to confirm you understand the terms. No contact with Jenna on company property about personal matters. No discussing family issues during work hours. No accessing information about her through other employees. Any concerns about work assignments or performance go through your direct supervisor, who will escalate to the regional VP if needed, not to Jenna. Do you understand? I understand that my daughter has turned me into a stranger. Ms. Caldwell. I understand the terms. She stands abruptly. Is that all? Angela glances at me. I nod, not trusting my voice. That's all. We'll send you a copy of these documents by the end of the day. And Ms. Caldwell, I'm sorry this situation has been difficult, but I want to be clear. This is about maintaining professional standards, not about punishing you. If you have questions going forward, my door is open. My mother looks at her, then at Marcus, then finally at me. I hope you're happy, she says quietly. I hope this was worth it. She walks out, the door closing with a soft click behind her. The room is silent. Angela exhales. That was tense. Yeah, I'm staring at the door, my whole body numb. Jenna, we do need to address the fact that you accessed her file. That's a serious compliance breach. I know. I'm going to issue you a written reminder about proper data access protocols. It'll go in your file, but it won't affect your standing as long as it doesn't happen again. Understood. Understood. Marcus closes his folder. For what it's worth, you handled that professionally. I know it wasn't easy. I nod, still not looking at either of them. Can I go? Of course. I walk back to my office on autopilot, close the door, sit at my desk, and then, finally, I let myself feel it. I just forced my mother to sign a disciplinary document. I just threatened her job. I just made her sit in a conference room and answer for her behavior like a child being called to the principal's office. I feel powerful. I feel sick. I put my head in my hands and cry. The repayment plan arrives in my email 3 days later. It's a PDF, clearly drafted by a lawyer. My parents must have paid someone to write it up, which is ironic given they claim they have no money. $500 per month for 94 months, totaling $47,000. No interest. I decided to let that go. I just want my money back. Both my parents signed it. It's notarized. I print it, sign it, scan it, and send it back. The first payment arrives 2 weeks later. $500 transferred directly into my account at 8:03 a.m. on the 1st of the month. There's no note, no message, just the money. I deposit it and feel absolutely nothing. My mother doesn't call, doesn't text. I see her name pop up in a few work emails, CC'd on a hospital staffing update, mentioned in a shift coverage report, but we don't interact. At work, she's a stranger. At home, she's a ghost. Derek sends me one text. Hope you're proud of yourself. Mom cries every day because of you. I block him. My father tries once more, a few days after the first payment. Jenna, sweetheart, your mother is devastated. She feels like she's lost you. Is there any way you two can talk? Work this out. We did work it out, Dad. She's paying me back, and we're following the professional boundaries at work. That's what working it out looks like. But you're not talking. You're not family anymore. We're family. We're just family with boundaries now. That's not how family works. It's how this family works now. I love you, Dad, but I can't keep having this conversation. He doesn't call again. Thanksgiving is 3 weeks away when my Aunt Linda calls. So I'm assuming you're not coming to your parents' house this year. That's a safe assumption. Your mom told everyone you're too busy with work. She's not telling people what really happened. I didn't think she would. Linda is quiet for a moment. For what it's worth, I told her she was wrong. About the money, about how she handled it. She didn't want to hear it, but I think you did the right thing. The words make my throat tight. Thank you. There's a few of us having a Friendsgiving at my place. You're welcome to come. No judgment, no drama, just food and people who like you. I actually laugh, watery and surprised. I'd really like that. Good, bring wine. The cheap stuff is fine. After we hang up, I realize it's the first time in 2 weeks that anyone in my family has invited me to something, has treated me like I'm still a person worth including, not just a villain in their story. I start therapy in earnest. Weekly sessions with Dr. Kim, unpacking decades of being the responsible one, the easy one, the one who didn't need anything. She introduces me to terms I've never heard before: parentification, scapegoating, financial enmeshment, triangulation. Your family system required you to be small, she says in our 4th session. Your competence was weaponized against you. Every time you succeeded, it proved you didn't need help. Every time Derek failed, it proved he did. So you were trapped: succeed and be ignored, or fail and be criticized for not being responsible enough. So what do? You do what you're doing. You set boundaries. You protect your resources. You build a life that doesn't require their approval. She pauses. How does it feel? Lonely, I say honestly, and kind of free. Both of those things can be true. I change all my banking passwords. I set up 2-factor authentication on everything. I remove my parents as emergency contacts and replace them with Aunt Linda and my best friend from college. I go through my apartment and pack up the family photos, not throwing them away, but putting them in a box in the closet where I don't have to see them every day. I block my parents' access to my calendar, my location sharing, my Amazon account, all the little ways we'd been digitally enmeshed without me even realizing it. Every cut feels necessary and painful. The second payment arrives right on time. $500, still no note. I start saving again. Slower now with a hole to fill, but I'm good at this. I've always been good at this. At work, I hear through the grapevine that my mother is looking for a new contract. Not a transfer. She's staying at St. Anne's for now, but she's asked about other opportunities, testing the waters. Part of me wonders if she's planning an exit strategy, a way to get out from under the firewall protocol and never have to think about me again. Part of me hopes she does. It would be easier. Christmas approaches, and I don't get an invitation. I spend it with friends, exchange gifts, drink too much wine, and try not to think about the fact that this is the first major holiday in 28 years that I haven't spent with my parents. Derek gets arrested again between Christmas and New Year's, his 4th DUI. I find out through a Facebook post from a mutual acquaintance, not from my family. My mother doesn't call to ask for help. I don't know if that's progress or just acceptance that I've already said no. The payment comes in January, and February, and March. I'm $3,000 closer to whole and $44,000 away. It's going to take years, but at least it's happening. 6 months after that meeting in the conference room, I get promoted again. Senior Regional Director, overseeing 3 states. It comes with a significant raise and a corner office with windows that actually open. My mother is no longer in my region. She transferred 4 months ago, her choice, not mine. She's working in the Springs now, a different hospital, a different contract. I heard through Aunt Linda that she told people she wanted a fresh start. I wonder if that's code for away from my daughter. The payments keep coming. $6,000 back, $41,000 to go. I've started dating someone. His name is Marcus, different Marcus, not the lawyer, and he works in nonprofit fundraising. On our 3rd date, I told him about the family situation, expecting him to think I was cold or cruel. Instead, he said, "That must have taken so much courage. I'm sorry they put you in that position." No one in my family has ever said they're sorry for putting me in that position. It made me cry into my pasta. We've been together for 2 months now, and he thinks my boundaries are healthy, not harsh. He thinks my refusal to be an ATM for my brother is reasonable, not selfish. He thinks I'm amazing for rebuilding my savings while working full-time and managing a region. It's disorienting, being with someone who doesn't see my competence as proof I don't need anything. I spent my birthday with him and a group of friends. My mother didn't call. My father sent a text. "Happy birthday, sweetheart, we love you." I didn't respond. Derek sent nothing. It hurt less than I expected. I'm rebuilding my savings, slower than before but steadier. I have a new goal, not a condo, but a small house. Something with a yard, maybe space for a garden. Something that's entirely mine, that no one can take from me or claim they helped pay for. I've started talking to a financial advisor about investments, about building wealth that's protected, about trusts and structures and legal safeguards. I will never be vulnerable like that again. Some people would say that's sad, that I've become hard and closed off. Dr. Kim says it's adaptive. You learned that the people who were supposed to protect you would take from you instead, so you're protecting yourself. That's not hard, that's smart. I think about my mother sometimes. Wonder if she thinks about me. Wonder if she's told herself a story where she's the victim and I'm the ungrateful daughter who chose money over family. I wonder if she's capable of seeing it any other way. Mostly, I wonder if it matters. Because here's what I've learned in the 6 months since I sat in that conference room and watched my mother sign those papers. Family doesn't mean infinite access to your resources. Family helps family is not a one-way street, and it's not a license for exploitation. If help only flows in one direction, that's not family, that's a system of extraction. You are not responsible for rescuing people from consequences they chose. Derek chose to drive drunk. My mother chose to take my money. Their choices are not my emergency. Boundaries are not punishments. They're protection. And the people who can't respect them are telling you exactly who they are. Using power isn't cruel if the alternative is letting someone abuse you. I had leverage. My position, my authority, my knowledge of systems and policies, and I used it. Not to destroy my mother, but to force accountability. That's not abuse of power. That's appropriate use of power. Documentation is protection. Every bank statement, every email, every text message I saved became evidence when I needed it. If someone tells you you're being paranoid for keeping records, they're telling you they plan to do something you'll want proof of later. And here's the hardest one. Sometimes love isn't enough. I love my mother. I probably always will. But love doesn't obligate me to set myself on fire to keep her warm. Love doesn't mean accepting theft. Love doesn't mean erasing myself so Derek can take up all the space. Love, I'm learning, should make you bigger, not smaller. And if it doesn't, it's not the kind of love worth protecting at the cost of yourself. I'm sitting in my new office, looking out at the mountains in the distance when my phone buzzes. It's the payment notification. Month 7, $3,500 recovered. $43,500 to go. I'll be 46 years old when the last payment comes in, if they keep it up. Nearly 2 decades of my life spent getting back what was taken in a single morning. But I'll get it back, and in the meantime, I'm building something new, a life that's mine, relationships that don't require me to be small, a career where my competence is valued, not exploited, a sense of self-worth that doesn't depend on how useful I am to other people. The family I grew up in taught me that my value was in what I could provide. The family I'm building now, chosen family, friends, a partner who sees me, is teaching me that my value is in who I am. It's a slow lesson. Some days I still feel guilty for having boundaries. Some days I still want to call my mom and pretend none of this happened. But then I look at my bank account. I look at the budget I've built, the goals I'm working toward, the life I'm creating. And I remember, I chose this, I chose myself. And I'd do it again. If you're listening to this, and you've ever been the responsible one in a family that took advantage of it, if you've ever been told that asking for your own needs to be met is selfish, if you've ever been made to feel guilty for having boundaries, I want you to know something. You're not selfish for protecting yourself. You're not cruel for expecting people to respect you. You're not ungrateful for refusing to be an ATM. And you're not alone. Drop a comment and tell me where you're listening from. Tell me your story if you want, or just tell me you understand. Because I think there are a lot of us out there, people who learned too young how to be small, and who are finally, painfully, learning how to take up space. If this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Or don't. I'm not going to guilt you into it. You get to choose what you do with your time and your energy, and that's kind of the whole point, isn't it? There are more stories coming. Stories about people who stopped setting themselves on fire to keep others warm. Stories about boundaries and consequences and the hard, necessary work of choosing yourself. I'll be here when you're ready. Until then, protect your peace. Read what you sign, document everything. And remember, no is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting yourself. Not even family. Especially not family.